Hi, I'm Rosemary Nixon, and in 2016, I created Encore Palm Beach County to connect people over 50 with new work and volunteer opportunities as a result of being a financial advisor for many years, helping people plan for retirement and what they're going to do in that retirement. More than 50% of the population of Palm Beach County is over 50. And I felt that nonprofits could use their wisdom, experience, and talents to help solve community problems. We started connecting people to volunteer opportunities, but then with COVID, people were reluctant to go out to volunteer in person. So we felt that nonprofits should consider bringing their projects to people in senior living communities that could be completed by a group, of which there are hundreds of senior living communities in Palm Beach County. With the leadership of Carolyn Kettle, a resident of Abbey Del Rey in Delray Beach, a group was formed that has completed projects every month for the last 3 years, such as wrapping Christmas gifts, stuffing envelopes, etc., for various nonprofits. It is our belief that residents in senior communities benefit physically and mentally with this type of community engagement. At this time, I'd like to introduce two people who have made our volunteer projects a success. Carolyn Kettle, resident of Abbey Del Rey, who organizes the volunteers there, and Emily Zarzycki, staff member at Cross Ministries, who brings the projects to Abbey Del Rey so that they may speak about what the project has meant to them, to their organizations, and the volunteers. And finally, Joni Cherbo, an Encore board member, will interview Bob Kramer, founder of NIC, the National Investment Center for Seniors Housing and Care, and Nexus Insights, on how he sees the role of volunteerism in reframing elder care in senior living communities. So, Carolyn, let's hear from you first.
Thank you, Rosemary. I am delighted to be here to share something very near and dear to my heart. And I'm saying that in my senior years, because I'm firmly convinced that if we keep happiness going in our bodies, we keep going. I want to tell you a little bit about our projects here at Abbey Del Rey. And of course, I'm most grateful to Encore and Rosemary for providing those nonprofits. That is our lifeblood. It's given new meaning to my life and to those who participate. My hope is that the presentation will motivate those who are listening for the first time to this endeavor, and that they will reach out to other communities with this program. I knew Rosemary before she started Encore, and if you know her, you don't get out of her grasp. She had a vision that a retirement community such as Abbey Del Rey might have residents interested in volunteering for nonprofits. And after being enclosed for 3 years, you can imagine how thrilled we were that there were 40 volunteers to volunteer at the inception. The only requirement we have is that the nonprofits bring the supplies to our campus. We want to avoid any transportation issues by getting on a bus and going someplace. This has been very far-reaching. Our corporate office in Dallas has put us on their website to promote volunteerism. And I hope that those of you seeing this video will click in lifespacecommunities.com and catch that. It's very inspirational. In summary, Abbey Del Rey's Carrying Angels is a great advocate for meaningful volunteering. We have been known outside the community here, and Of course, here at Abbey, I have a right-hand person, my best friend, who has the best testimony for doing this volunteer work, and it is, I look forward to our projects. They make me feel blessed to help and share with others. I've done volunteer work all my life, and now I'm able to contribute again. What joy it is to share with you today, as I said, something very near and dear to me. When we help others, we help ourselves. And I thank you for listening.
Okay, well, thank you, Carolyn, very, very much. And now, Emily, if you would unmute yourself and share with us.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you. My name is Emily, and I am the staff person at Cross Ministries that oversees our senior living community projects. We started with Abbey Del Rey, what we thought would be a one and done project, and here we are 3 years later, continuing to serve with them. We were invited on behalf of Encore to come and bring an on-site project. So I have a team of 2 other people who join me once a month, and we pack all of our supplies up in our truck and we head on over. We have done a variety of projects with Abbey, wrapping Christmas presents, stuffing Easter eggs, doing mailings, doing silverware packets for our homeless, making hygiene kits. So when I do show up at Abbey, I try to do something different every month. The program has grown so much that we don't usually take one project anymore. We now take like 2 or 3 different projects because there are so many that are there and helping. It has been a wonderful opportunity for us to be involved in, and really, especially because of the relationships that have been built with our team and the folks that are at Abbey. I like to share with people that I started with 1 set of grandparents and now I have 20 more sets of grandparents. We've really built some incredible intergenerational relationships. It's always very, very positive to catch up with the residents there, to hear how they're doing, what's happened from 1 month to the next. And they're always very thrilled and happy to hear what we've been doing as well. So we are really big advocates of it. We've done over 23 projects with Abbey up to date, and that has been over 500 hours of donated community service time. And so that is substantial because that has helped to take off a tremendous load from our staff. By them being able to partner with us and do projects. So I strongly encourage any nonprofit out there to jump on board and just really enjoy the opportunities that can lie ahead.
Thank you, Emily. And now, Joni, would you and Bob begin your conversation?
Bob, are you with us?
I am with you.
Wonderful.
With you in voice and with you in spirit, even if I can't be with you on camera, because we're in the midst of high winds and we've just had a complete power outage. So, well, my apologies for that.
Well, you're with us at least, right?
Yes.
I want to welcome you.
I
We are
am indeed.
delighted to have you here to offer your knowledge, your wisdom, your experience, and your perspective to our volunteer project, which, as you know, pairs nonprofits with senior volunteers in residential communities. Now, reading up on you, I noticed that you recently co-founded Nexus Insights, which is an innovative and a very ambitious model on reframing many aspects of senior care going forward. And we hope that you will speak with us in detail about this model in a separate Zoom meeting because it's quite fascinating. But today, we would like you to address our common interest, the role of volunteerism in reframing elder care. I mean, how do we stop treating elders as over the hills, dependents, unemployable, needing full-time custodial care, and rather to tap into their many accumulated gifts and help them find their own purpose and contribute to their communities and maybe even the larger social fabric. In other words, how do we help them sustain themselves as useful people and citizens? Bob?
Well, thank you. And thanks so much for the invitation to join you all in this really important initiative. Let me say, first of all, Joni, that we're not just reframing elder care, we're reframing aging. And I think that's an important distinction. And we tend too much to think of aging as what we do to and for older adults, particularly care and support in daily living, but not enough thinking about what we do with and what is done by older adults. And I think part of this is we tend to focus so much on the care in elder care that we lose sight of the person who brings gifts, who brings a desire to contribute and to engage, whatever it may be, their physical challenges or limitations. You know, someone once said, and I very much believe it, that ageism is prejudice against our future selves. But one of the greatest challenges is what's called, and a researcher has documented, what's called internalized ageism. And that's where older adults begin to imbibe or accept themselves a declinist view of their own life and their own contributions. Volunteerism empowers older adults to be problem solvers versus being viewed as the problem. And it's depressing to be viewed as the problem. It's engaging, it's energizing to be viewed as, and to be actually part of the solution. It gives you a reason to get up each day. It gives you a sense that you're a person who has something to contribute to the broader community. And it also takes senior living communities, rather than being sort of isolated, almost like ghettos, not by price point, but by being isolated from the broader community. Engaging in these volunteer projects connects older adults with their broader community, and it also connects their passions and their interests, and it connects them to people that they can, in a very real way, make a difference. Researcher Dr. Becca Levy at Yale, who's written a book, Breaking the Age Code, How Your Beliefs About Aging Determine How Long and Well You Live, has documented that basically having positive views of aging, and that translates to being actively engaged in contributing into the lives of others, and volunteerism is a key way of doing that, that it not only adds 7.5 years to one's life, but it also puts quality into those added years of life. So what we need is to not talk about a continuum of care, but a continuum of engagement. And what your program represents, which I'm so excited about, is part of that continuum of engagement. Let me just give you a couple of practical examples, although your own program has many. During COVID, two programs I'm aware of that were started by residents in senior living communities. One at Goodwin House and Goodwin Living in Northern Virginia. There was a very upbeat staff member who was an immigrant who one day seemed incredibly depressed in the dining hall, and a resident asked him, you know, John, what's the matter? Why are you so discouraged? And he went on to talk about that he'd been trying to become a U.S. citizen for years. They kept raising the fees. They were now double what they'd been before. And also the citizenship test was incredibly difficult. Well, she thought about that. She went to her friends in this community, and she went to management and said, we have a lot of immigrants here. I bet there are more with this situation. Fast forward, today, 149 staff members have gotten their citizenship through a program that was set up at the request by residents. Residents contributed dollars to it, and then residents did the tutoring. And they worked with the staff and the administration to create the time. They have now paid for and tutored 149 staff members to become full U.S. citizens. And by the way, after the front page story about this in the Washington Post, the demand to work at these communities soared off the charts. So that's one example. The second one, again, you see the theme here is problem solver, not the problem. Again, another resident in a different community noticed that one of the caregivers seemed to be really discouraged, and she asked her what was going on. This was in the height of COVID, and she said, "What's concerning you?" And she said, "It's my kids. I've got kids there at home. They're not in school. They're not learning. Online isn't working. And I'm so concerned for my kids." And so she thought to herself and then said to some friends, "We're all educated, and many of us are former educators." Long story short, they worked with the leadership at their company and retirement community. They then contacted Apple. They got iPads donated, and they set up an online tutoring program for the children of the staff members in their community. They also involved some young people who helped with all the technical side of it. So it was a win for everybody. It was a win for the staff members concerned about their kids, and it was a win for the kids. It was a win for the residents. It was a win for the community. So again, moving your program and programs like it, recognize older adults as an enormous resource, as problem solvers, not the problem. It's about engaging, and it's about having a sense of purpose and belonging. So it's good for the health and wellness of older adults. It's good for the broader community. And at a time when there's so much fracturing in our society, programs like this bring people together across ages, across communities, across so many barriers. So I couldn't be more excited to basically say, I am thrilled by what you are doing. I believe volunteerism amongst older adults represents a hidden, underutilized asset, will be key for this country over the next 30 to 40 years. So thank you for asking me to join you.
Thank you for being with us. I think our time is.
And I am.
I have lots of questions, but I'm afraid our time is up. And we can save that for another Zoom meeting with you if you will grace us with your presence, Bob.
I'll be more than glad to.
Thank you so much. Emily, Rosemary, Caroline, bless you all, and let's just keep going forward.
Thank you.